In this video, I'm going to show you how to start a YouTube channel with your phone in 2018.
YouTube Simplified.
And here's a spoiler, this entire channel, including this video, was all made on an iPhone. Hi, and welcome to Creator Fundamentals. My name is Dan Currier, and it is my mission to simplify YouTube so you and I can grow together. So in this video, I wanted to talk about how to start a YouTube channel in 2018 with just your phone. I'm going to provide some tips on how to improve the quality of the video that you record on your phone, and also some of the strategies I use to streamline the editing process. That's coming up. Alright, so the first thing I would recommend is setting the video quality on your phone as high as possible. Some phones may give you the opportunity to do 1080p but only at 30 frames per second, but may offer 720 at 60 frames per second. You don't really need to go above 30 frames per second for these types of videos unless you have something that has a lot of action in it. So I would definitely recommend going the 1080 if that's available, even if it's only available at 30 frames. Alright, so one of the first things you may want to consider, depending on the type of content that you're making, is to have a stationary camera. A lot of times people are just starting out on YouTube and they tend to hold on to their camera, and it's much easier to watch a video such as this one rather than watching a video that's going like this. Obviously there's a big difference there, and you may chase some viewers away if your camera's bouncing all over the place. So if you are in a position to buy a tripod, you can grab a really cheap tripod on Amazon. I think they were around $23. It's the Amazon Basics tripod. I'll put a link in the description below. I think for a short period of time it was even down to $18. But if that's not something that's in your budget right now, just find a way to stand up your phone rather than holding it in your hand. It will make a big difference in the end quality of your videos. Alright, so if you are able to buy a tripod, the tripod is going to come with a little screw on top. It's referred to as quarter 20. It's the standard connection that connects to a camera. What you can do is buy one of these. This is just a simple bracket that attaches to that quarter 20, and it will clamp down on most any size phone. It works on my iPhone 7 Plus, and it'll work on smaller phones as well, but that'll keep you nice and secure on top of that tripod and make sure that you don't lose your camera or break your camera. The last thing you want is your camera falling to the ground from the top of a tripod. Oh, and these things, I think they're like $6 or $7. I'll put a link in the description below. Alright, so once your camera is stationary, the next thing that is super important is lighting. Darkness or lack of light in your video can really turn an otherwise good video into something that's really hard to watch if it gets really grainy and it's hard to see. So lighting is definitely important. Now that doesn't mean you have to go out and spend a bunch of money for lighting. A lot of people successfully use natural lighting. That means recording outdoors or recording with a window behind the camera to shine natural light on your face. So you really want to put yourself in a position where you don't have bright light behind you, because that will brighten everything behind you and your face will look darker. So you want to be able to lighten up your face and contrast that against the backdrop. So again, try to have that bright light, that natural light behind the camera. If you don't have natural light, if you're in a position where you need to record at night like I always do, you can get dirt cheap lighting. You can actually go to Home Depot and buy little shop lights. They're little round metal lights that clip onto things. You can clip it onto a chair or something behind your camera, and then you just buy the CFL bulbs and put up a couple of those to your left or right, and it'll give you a lot of improved lighting over what you may be using with, you know, fluorescent bulbs or normal everyday room lighting. Pardon me if I keep referring to my phone as a camera, but when I'm using it to make videos, that's what it is to me. It's a camera. So one of the things to consider when using your phone as your camera is it's really important to consider where you're looking. Right now, I'm looking at the camera, but a lot of people will be looking over here because they're looking at the big display. So it's really important that you focus on where the camera actually is and make sure you're making eye contact with the lens and not the display. Alright, so one of the things I like to do when making videos on my phone is first I like to do it in pieces or chunks. And what I'll do is I will record a particular section as many times as it takes until I'm satisfied with it. And then before I move on to record the next piece, I'll actually jump in and edit that particular clip, and I'll trim the beginning and the end to get off the part of the video where I'm pushing the record button or ending and maybe my head's turning away. I get all that trimmed off on each clip as I record them, so that way when I'm ready to transfer all the clips over to iMovie on my phone or to my editing software on my PC, there's a lot less editing to do because there's clean ends to both sides of each video clip. And remember, whether you're making a video on your phone or on a really expensive camera, you still need to focus on keyword research and setting up the tags for your videos, preferably before you start recording your video. So you definitely want to understand how that whole process works. If you're not familiar with it, I will throw a link up here on how to do keyword research, which is basically targeting a specific keyword phrase and making that the topic of your video. So definitely check that out if you aren't familiar with that, and that'll go a long way in helping people find the video that you just made on your phone. I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to be alerted to future videos that help simplify YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that bell notification icon so you don't miss a thing. That's all the time we have for today. My name is Dan Currier, and you're watching Creator Fundamentals. Thank you.